You know, when kids are little, they're very, well, they're very short. And so when they try to do art at the table, they're like this. And it's no wonder their art doesn't come out the way they hoped because, you know, who can do art like this? So I invented a table that is an art table for kids. Look, it doesn't have the cup holders yet, but it will, by geez, because there's nothing that'll ruin your art faster than purple grape juice all over your art. But look, it's got this kind of tree-like, trunk-like base, and it's got the ergonomic seats for table surface. Just check this out, huh? Look at that. They can just fit right in there. Their little elbows go like this. And it's short. It's only 24 inches tall. And then it's a breakdown table. So the two base pieces separate, and then this just pops off, but you don't want it poppable, offable all the time, do you? Because that way there could be accidents. So you don't want those. So you use a little latch, a little child-proof latch, to secure the table down at two of the corners. So that's cool, don't you think? Plus, it's completely tip-proof. Like, you can lean on it really hard and nothing happens that's bad and unexpected and loud. So this is all you do. You get yourself some plywood, not just ordinary plywood. This is oak veneered plywood, okay? 3/4 of an inch thick, really pretty grain line on it. It's not just hack plywood. And you can buy it in a 4x8 sheet if you can get that home in the car, or you can ask them to cut it into two 4x4 foot sheets. The actual size of the table is 38 inches square. It's cut out of a 38-inch square, which I already marked out here. And then you just need a pail lid and a pencil. And this is for these ergonomic little corners that we're working with here. So you just take a little bit off each corner, like this. And then you have to decide, well, how portly is my child and how much little, you know, of that little sort of belly room do you want to give them? So I just sort of guess, because just guess. So something like that. Then the secret is you cut this one out and then you put it on all the other four sides so that you get the same little portly cutout on each of the four sides. Seats 4, no waiting. Okay, so the thing that you use to cut this out is the thing that no girl should be without, which is a jigsaw. I happen to have a cordless one, but you can get them with cords. And I've got a scrolling blade in it, which is a fairly thin little blade that goes around corners. So I'm going to cut the tabletop out, and then I'll get onto the legs, which takes a little bit more design aptitude. Not aptitude, really, just kind of a flaming sense of purpose. You don't really need to be good at it. You just need to have a strong desire to make a nice table. Okay, so goggles and headgear. Cozy that is, you just fit right in there. You could even put a strap around your neck and just serve hors d'oeuvres on this because it's so comfortable to wear. All right, now the next trick is the legs. And you had a 38-inch square piece of wood that you cut the tabletop out of. But let's do something just for fun. When you measure corner to corner, you've got quite a bit more room, like 47.5 inches. So when it comes to the table legs that are going to go underneath here, how wide do you want them to be? Let's go with about 38, since that's the original size that we cut. It'll inset the legs about, 4 or 5 inches on each end. So you don't want to set them too narrow, because then you end up with quite a tippy table. So I'll put this aside, and I have to sand it because there are some bumps and stumps where I didn't quite have a smooth passage with my jigsaw. So what you do is you want to get yourself a completely square edge, which is usually the factory cut edge that's facing me, and you measure across 38 inches and make a bunch of marks. If you don't have a straight edge, which is what this level is, I'm just going to use it as a straight edge. So I've marked my 38-inch lines all the way up there, and now I just join them up, kind of connect the dots situation for art. Go like that. I could continue it up there, but I can't quite reach, so I'll get to that later. And then I did the same thing with 24-inch marks across here. So I'll just join them up like this. And that way I know when I cut out this shape that the legs are going to be square, and then the table's not going to be rocking and rolling. Now, here's my big thing. Symmetry. Not important. Look, this is one piece of wood. This is what I'm about to do. It's kind of fat and puffy and round in different places on the board. So you don't need to be symmetrical side to side. There's a big foot there and a smaller foot there. That's kind of fun. Because when you put the two pieces together, which are identical, it still looks sort of random and nice. Okay, so you just look at the shape that you're working with and you go, okay, well, let's start there. And just kind of comes down like the branches of a tree. You could even look at a tree. You should probably find the center again, which I always forget to do. And I have to fix it later. Okay, see, that's too symmetrical. Bummer. Okay, well, I'll just fix it. Okay, and same thing on the feet. We'll have one wide foot. Just pretend you're drawing tree roots. You know how they come up from the base of the tree and kind of little grasses grow and it's always kind of humpy and bumpy? So I'm going to cut this out now, and then when I have my first one, I'm going to place it, oh, I forgot the sides. Humpy and bumpy, and then slight different humps and bumps on this side. So I'm going to cut this out and then place it right up here on top of this clean half of the board and trace it and cut it out, and then I'll have my two legs, and then I can cut the slots to put them together. You know what, too? One other quick tip. Try to use the vertical grain to cut the tree trunk out of, because that way it looks really tree trunk-like. If your tree trunk bark is going sideways, maybe that's not so good. Okay, so I've got my two identical, that scared me for a moment, identical pieces. Okay. Oh, it's okay, everything's gonna be fine. Any moment now. Oh, I got it. There we go. That's almost as hard as figuring out what half of 38 is right there, eh? Okay, so I've got my two identical pieces. And now I need to find the center spot on the two symmetrical pieces so that I can make the slots for them. So we know that half of 38 is 19. So I'm going to just make a little mark there. And then these things are great. You got to have one of these if you're into a carpentry sort of a lifestyle, because they're really cool. Look, I just line it up with this nice square foot that I have here. And then I know that that'll send me straight up the center of my little project here. Right? So something like that. Okay, so it looks crooked, but I'm assuming it's not. And we'll just find out when I cut the slot. So the stock that I'm using here, the plywood, is 3/4 of an inch thick. So to make my little children's table not rock and be steady, I want to cut a 3/4 of an inch slot. 3/8 of an inch on this side of my center mark and 3/8 of an inch on this side. And how deep shall I go? I don't know. I can just pick it. You know why? Because whatever depth I pick, I'll do the lower half of the other piece. It doesn't really make sense right now, but watch. So let's say I'm going to go to there. All right, so I need to make sure that I've got exactly 3/4 of an inch here, which I did by eye, and I'm a bit thick. That's what my geometry teacher used to tell me. You know, you're a bit thick. All right. Okay, so now I'll just elongate those lines, keeping them in line with that mark that I made that we know is square, and draw the line there. Same thing over here. Okay, so then once I have this, I'm going to jigsaw it out. Okay, so I totally ignore the bottom piece right now. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out then come back and pop this on here, and then I'll know how deep to make the one on the bottom so that they meet right in the middle, or the more or less middle-ish part where that mark is. So I'll cut this out, and then, okay, so I have that slot cut out now, and I'm lining up very carefully these surfaces so that they're with my little fingertips and all the nerve endings they're in, because in order to get this table to sit square and flat and not need a shim under it, these have to be lined up really well before the critical second slot gets cut. Okay, so look, you trace it like this, okay, just like that. So it's a dead bone accurate, whatever that is, tracing of that slot. Now, the good part. Go like this. You know why? Because the times you measure the other slot and then you cut the one that you're not supposed to, it just kills you. All right, so again, I'm going to just measure up from this one using that same line that we know is square and go like this. Just extend the line up, you see? Lots of fun with rulers. And then I'm going to jigsaw this out, not this, just this bit. Okay, this is my bit that this nice bit there. This one, I say to myself. Okay, then I'm going to flip it. I'm just being overly cautious because I just make this mistake a lot, and it's a killer. So I'm going to jigsaw, and when you get up to this part up here, usually I would drill holes with a drill, but today I'm just going to zigzag like this because I got my nice little scrolling blade in. And it looks really cool because you kind of chew it out at the end. And there's always a little bit of tidying up to do at the end with those little slots. So we'll just get to that point. Okay, that's not going to work because I'm going to saw my table in half. Okay, wait. Oh, here, look, another ergonomic little moment I'm having. I have so many in an average day. Okay, now I'll be jigsawing. So I'll get up here, cut this out, and then there's a little bit of finagling because this is going to be a bit wacky, but we'll get there. Oh, a bit loud. There. There. Okay, so if you're the nervous type and you used to, like me, have some trouble in home ec because you got nervous following the lines, this is maybe a project to practice on because you do have to make, follow the lines really carefully with the, oh, I ripped my skirt. Did you hear that? Oh, it's a special day. Oh, no, I'm okay. All right, so, but if it gets drafty, I'll let you know. So now we have to see if these fit together just fine. And like I said, sometimes they don't. So let's find out if they do or not. So you stand here. That's the top, actually. So you come like this. And you go like this. Huh? Okay, and no rocking. Okay, a little bit of rocking. Okay, a little bit of rocking, but not too bad. And it's a bit loose, but it's a breakdown table. It's supposed to be like that. Now, if you want to be fastidious, you can clean up this little joint right here because it looks a bit untidy, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Why is that happening? You know what? I think I'm just high centering a little bit. Oh yeah, see, look, there's the problem right there. See, that's just a bit messy. I'm just going to clean that up. You can use your jigsaw to shave away at it, or you can file it. I'm going to go with the electrical method and just shave it. Okay, I've got the top of my Children's Ergonomic Art Center station table almost perfectly sanded. You can see it's all smooth. And now I'm just going to line it up so that it's with these support pieces so that it's all centered more or less. And then I'm going to mark, I think that's about right. I'm going to mark right along here, right along each side of the supports with a pencil, because I'm going to glue and screw some strips on to the tabletop like this, so that every time you get the table out to set it up, you just plop it down and find the little slots, right, with the table base. And that's good, because you don't want to just screw down into this, because then you've got lousy little screw marks, and then every time your little short childlike friends do their art, they've got big screw imprints on their art. And so you always say, well, did you mean that screw to be there? Or what's with that screw thing that's on all your pictures? And they can't help it, and that's not fair. So I'll mark all this, and then I'll glue the pieces in place, and then I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint, look, tavern green milk paint, but really it's more like apple green, because it's going to look like leaves. This will be the top of the tree, and then the base I'm going to do this aniline stain, and then cover the whole thing with water-based urethane, so everybody can spill all they want and nothing will ever be damaged. Okay, so all these little marks go on. Okay, look, it's done. Look, all the slots are made and glued and screwed on. And I still have to put these little latches onto my little child's art table so that it can, but that's easy. That's just sticking them down to that thing. So now, once you know how to do this, you could do all the set furniture and all the set pieces for your kids' school play. It's good. Okay, so now you just find the slots with your fingers or with just by feel to fit the base. Just kind of line it up. I got one in, and I think I'll call it a day. Okay, well, it's a little complicated. Ow! Oh, that's one way to find it, by feel. All right. Oh, there we go. See? Look. See how cool it looks? So aniline stain is what makes it look trunk-like on the bottom, and the green looks really pretty under the milk paint, see? And then all the children can gather around and do art. And if there's one child missing, then there's ergonomic seating for you right here, so that you can, you know, sit and lord it over the little artists and say, what's that? What's that supposed to be? Well, it doesn't look like one. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. See, I wouldn't just make such a bad mother, but I'm a good aunt. Okay, so look, this is good. It's not too hard. 3 pieces, not so bad. I want to show you a more cool and kind of up-tempo version of a chair and table set for kids. This is by Linda Olenek and Renato Iozzo. And what they do is he builds the furniture and then she paints it. And look at this stuff. It's really cool. She's got a real eye with painting. And this is another classic artisan story, okay? She graduated with a history degree in political science, and then she decided that she liked visual arts better, so she just did her thing, and look how cool it is. So this table is actually 19 inches high, so it's for even smaller people than what I built my table for, and the little chairs measure 11 inches at the bend of the knee. So I'm going to just sit here and do a little art, I think, because, you know, I can. So cozy. Yeah, I think cup holders would be good right here. The very act of making an art table for the kids in your life is going to distract you from the stresses of modern existence. And once the little tads are all nestled happily, drawing and coloring, you might even want to build a larger version of their table for people your own size. Just make sure the friends you invite are bringing their own crayons, so there's no fighting.